introduce the group director of Stewarts Lloyds and the cyclist in the company, and a man who I think turns the pedals very strongly in a cycling direction in blue and black, Mr. Derek Franks. Great to have him with us. He's a seasoned cyclist, and he is indeed a man of steel. Mr. Franks, it's an absolute pleasure, privilege, and honor for us to be here today, and boy, you deserve to bask. A man of steel.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, girls and boys. It's been a real, how can I say, rock and roll story all the way with this trip that's happened. It started 3 years ago, actually, this whole Madrid to Lisbon situation. When we spotted it as a tour to do something different in Europe, and we said, no, we're going to do this trip from Madrid to Lisbon. 1,100 kilometers in length, 9 days riding, I think 18,000 meters elevation. How can I forget those numbers? I used to have nightmares about them. Anyway, the COVID came as it did, and unfortunately the first year we couldn't go. I paid a deposit and was told, no, you can't have the deposit back because you can come the year after. So we postponed it for the next year. So we waited for the next year to come, and COVID was still here. So I said, deposit? They said, no, we'll keep the deposit because, you know, you're going to come back the third year. So this year came around, and for whatever reasons, I had a crash, so I couldn't actually do this ride, but that's another story. Vicky said she wants to do it. On her own, by herself, she wants to do it. So I wasn't going to lose my deposit. So I said, okay, you better get on with it. And since Christmas, this lady was training non-stop. Every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, during the week, every minute that came, she was putting everything, the heart and soul, into trying to get through this thing. Johnny, his name goes before him, he will appreciate it more than most people here, just how hard this route actually is. And she was really concerned at one stage if she was going to get through it all. 9 days of going uphill and never stopping. Anyway, I just want to say that when we started up with this thing, we thought it might be a good idea to use this as a charity event. Thinking that, well, maybe she won't finish, so maybe then we don't have to pay any money. But no, jokes. So we decided to tie it up to a charity. And I said to Vicky, which charity would you like to tie it to, or which charity would you like to do it for? And as a lot of you here know, Stewarts Lloyds does a lot of charity work as over the years for many different charities. We've done all sorts of things. Crazy things, cool things, real things. Never done anything like this before. And she came along, she said, no, the charity that I would like to ride this for is a charity for women and children that are abused. Abuse against women and children. And there are quite a few charities that represent these unfortunate people. But she chose one, Frida Hartley, in the beginning. And we said, okay, let's put our line in the sand. Let's see how much we're going to raise here. So we put 110,000 Rand down. I don't know why we did it. We just thumb-sucked it. I think it was like 10 Rand a kilometer to get to the 110. Said, right, we're going to do it, 110,000. And if we do it, then we get the pledging, and then we'll be too glad to give it to Frida Hartley for the charity. And that's when the fun started, way back in when? March, April, even before then, February. And she trained, and she trained, and she trained, and she trained. And she carried on, and she carried on, and she carried on, and she carried on. And she never thought, often she not, I wouldn't say all the time, but a lot of the time she thought, this is not going to happen. And we look at the route, we look at the graph, we look at the elevation, we say, this is impossible. But she stuck at it, and she stuck at it, and she stuck at it. Long story short, you know what the event was, you know the event finished, didn't just finish. She won't tell you this, but I can tell you this because I got told by the organizers themselves and the guys that were on the tour. She was actually the strongest rider, okay? There was guys and girls on the route, but Vicky was the strongest rider. So well done. She hates going downhill, but boy, she can go uphill, I can tell you that. So from a Stewarts Lloyds point of view, this thing started off with our little marketing team, Eve and Bronwyn, and I've got to mention Mandy, otherwise she gets upset. Mandy said, hey girls, let's see what we can do here. Maybe we should just see if we can back this thing properly and try and be a bit professional for a change. Maybe we can do something. Let's try and raise this 110,000. So the women's little group called the Women of Steel was born. And these 3 women, including Vicky as well, worked so hard for months and months and months in putting and organizing the time in, the effort in, during work time, after work time. It's just incredible the amount of time and effort they put into the whole thing and how professional they made everything. I just want to tell everybody here that I had no idea how much organizing and how much time and how much effort is needed to put into an event like this. I can't describe in words how much is needed to make something like this professional and to make it work like it did. So let me cut to the chase. This has definitely been Stewarts Lloyds' best, when I say best, biggest and most successful charity campaign they've ever done. And we've done dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. It's the most we've ever raised. As you may probably already know, we went for 110, and before we know it, we're at 330. And the ladies were saying, well, hang on, maybe we can actually include another charity or 2. And that's what we did. So there are actually 3 charities involved now, and we're splitting the money up equally in 3. So it's been a real, not even a double whammy, it's been a triple whammy success. The thing just went crazy. And I have to thank every single person here that pledged, every one of the pledges here, and some people that aren't here who also pledged. There's quite a lot that couldn't come for obvious reasons, but from the picker and packer and driver who pledged 25 Rand, and yes, there were a few of them, and 50 Rand, to some of our other suppliers who put in as much as 40,000 to 50,000 Rand. Okay, I just want to thank everybody. Every Rand and cent was appreciated. And thank you. I think you all deserve a clap for yourself. Okay, so we decided that, the only way we can finish off this whole thing after she successfully completed the whole ride was to have a little event like this to welcome our pledges, to thank our pledges actually, and thank you all for coming. Once again, I want to say thanks again for everything that you guys have done to make this a success. We did a lot of work, but without the people pledging, we would never have made it. So